What's happening, people? Okay, we is live right now, live from the village right now. TV Tuesday right now with Reese M in the house right now. How's your day going? How's your day been? Appreciate you joining this live stream as we get ready to continue the X-Files season 3, episode 19 to 21 is what we're doing right now. Let me switch over to this screen. Off for a little bit. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Pretty regular day, I guess. About to have tea. Awesome. What kind of tea you having? We talking green tea, chamomile tea? What kind of tea we having? I typically, well, I guess I don't drink a lot of tea these days. But when I do have tea, it's more often than not going to be green tea. I do like green tea. I tried a few other teas like the strawberry infused teas and stuff like that. They're quite nice. But my go-to would be green tea when it comes to tea. But I'm definitely more coffee these days. But I do still like my green tea. But yeah, I actually been working on a collaboration today. So I got a message to do a collab with a YouTuber who's seen some of my videos. He liked my videos and he's like, hey, do you want to do a collab? I was like, alright, cool, we can do that. So just been working on that. Yo, Mikey, I think. Yo, what up? Appreciate you coming through. LT as in dinner, man. We call it tea. Oh, that kind of tea. Okay. Wait, isn't tea like, I thought tea time was like midday though, isn't it? I always thought tea time was midday when people talk about tea. But okay, but I guess you call, I don't know, maybe it's different in different parts of the country. But I always thought tea time was like midday. Or I don't know, maybe I just got it wrong. I don't know. Just saying what's good before I go back to work. Big up. So I appreciate you coming through, Mikey. Appreciate you coming through. Whether you can stay for a little bit or stay for a lot of bits, it's all good. Hope you have a good day at work, or at least, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So it's breakfast, then dinner at midday, then tea at 6 p.m-ish. Okay, interesting. So I always thought tea time was like midday, but yeah, maybe it is different in different parts of the country, or maybe I just completely got it wrong. But yeah, you call tea dinner, or you call dinner tea rather. Okay, your evening meal is what you call tea. Okay, gotcha. The collab stuff sounds good. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. So he asked me to do, because he's seen some of my videos that I do, you know, like the movie channel videos, and he thought like that kind of style would go well with some of the types of videos that he does. And it's a lot to do with, like, I don't know if you know the show To Catch a Predator. This guy called Chris, it's like an old show, I don't think it's actually on anymore, but it's this guy called Chris Hansen used to like set up these, like, you know, potential pedophiles, and he'll have like a decoy who pretend to, it'd be like a grown woman, but they'll pretend to be like, you know, a 12-year-old or 14-year-old or something like that, and they'll chat to this person online and arrange a meet, and then this guy will turn up at the meet spot, and then they'll come out and be like, aha, we caught you, you know, you're about to do it with a 12-year-old, you know, we caught you, and they'll get arrested and go to jail or whatever, right? But yeah, he does a lot of stuff like that, like updates with, you know, that sort of thing, where they are now and that kind of stuff. And yeah, he asked me to write a few comments on a video, and so yeah, I did. I haven't recorded it yet, but I did write up a few things, and today hopefully should be able to record that tomorrow and send it to him, and then see how that video turns out. But yeah, no, it was pretty cool, something a little bit different to what I normally do, but you know, variety's the spice of life, as they say, right? So sometimes you gotta try something a little bit different. Yeah, I've seen some of those videos, and men and women doing no. So I gotcha. But speaking of like predators, do you know of a YouTuber called EDP445? He got caught trying to solicit a 12-year-old girl, I guess about a couple of years ago, I think, like maybe, it was a little while ago anyway. But apparently he's been at it again and been caught again, trying to message minors and meet up with minors and that kind of stuff. So, bruh. Some people just don't learn, man. I swear down, some people just don't learn. I don't know what it is, but some people just don't learn. About that, I've never been able to get my head around how you could do those things to a child. No, for sure, that's just all the way off. That's all the way off. I hear about these guys who, like, they have, I guess, temptations, I guess you'd call it. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but they have, like, they feel like, you know, they would want to go do some stuff with a kid, right? But because, like, they recognize how they're feeling and, you know, that kind of stuff is wrong, like, they'll go to, like, a counselor or some place where you can get help, you know, and, you know, try and, like, you know, I don't know, what's the word, cure? I don't know if that's the right word to use, but they try and get help, you know what I mean? And that is like, okay, I can respect that, you know, you recognize there's something wrong and you're trying to do something about it. I can respect that, but like, people who just like go ahead with it or try to go ahead with it, like, that's okay, and then try to justify it sometimes, like, nah, you're just all the way wrong. Ridiculous that you still out after what happened. Yeah, no, for sure. Like, that dude, like, I don't know much about that guy. Like, I've seen a couple of his videos before the cupcake incident. I did see a couple of his videos, and you know, I thought they were kind of entertaining, kind of mildly entertaining. I think I maybe watched 2 or 3 of his videos, and you know, he had some funny stories, and you know, he'll talk about stuff that he likes doing, and you know, that kind of thing. But then, yeah, when that news broke, I was like, raw. I mean, I knew this guy was out there, but come on, come on. And then I'm hearing apparently he's been trying to do it again and got caught again. It's like, dude. Dude should be in jail, let alone off the internet. Let's throw that guy in jail at this point. It's like, he got caught once. You'd think like, okay, maybe he learned his lesson. Maybe he'd be like, all right, let me just leave this alone, keep my head down, duck away, and just go sort myself out. You'd think maybe he'll do that, but nope. All right. Apparently. I've got to say apparently because, you know, accusations and stuff. I'm not following these guys that closely. Imagine being one of those counselors. Well, somebody's got to do it, right? But that's a tough job, isn't it? That's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. But boy, listen, if those counselors weren't there, it could be a whole lot worse. I'm just saying. I don't envy that kind of field of work, but boy, somebody's got to do it. Yo, what up, Sam? Sam being a place to be. That guy, he's always offending, is it? I can't remember his name. Something. I don't know if it's the same guy we're talking about, but possibly. I don't think so. I mean, because I don't know what dude's real name is, so could be, maybe, possibly. But if not, then they're both screwed. If it's not the same guy we're talking about, then both these guys are screwed. So yeah. Yeah, we're just talking. Sam, we're just talking about I'm doing a collab video with a YouTuber, and it's around To Catch a Predator. It's kind of like a reaction to an episode of To Catch a Predator. Well, not a whole episode. It's like a 5-minute clip from To Catch a Predator that he wanted me to do a kind of, well, I say reaction, it's not quite the right word to use because it's more of a scripted reaction. But he just asked me to make a few comments on a video, and so I've written up what I wanted to say. Hopefully should get some time to record it tomorrow and send it to the guy. But yeah, that could be a fun video. Could be a fun video. He's getting beaten up. There's a Facebook page devoted to him. I have love-hate relationships with those. What, To Catch a Predator? You know, it could be. Let's see something. Let me see something real quick before we get into the X-Files. What is EDP45's real name? Cause it could be. So EDP445, his name is Dion Scott Wilson Eason. Oh wait, that's not his birth name. His birth name was Bryant Terham Emerson Moreland. I guess he changed it after the incident. I guess he changed it. But yeah, no, it's not the same guy. But in any case, yeah, both these guys are messed up. Still alive. Yeah, so yeah, they are interested in watch, but are uncomfortable at the same time. No, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I haven't seen a whole lot of this show. It's not. I mean, in the end, it's not the type of thing I would seek out to watch. I guess I've known about it, but never. Well, I guess I've seen a few things, but yeah, it was still a cool thing to do. Make a few make a few remarks on this guy. Apparently, what has happened is this guy was he turned up. He was messaging this girl online. You know, the decoy, right? Who pretended to be a 14-year-old girl. He turned up at her house, stripped naked. Yeah, you don't see none of this in the video, by the way. This is what they say after, you know, they kind of catch him. But I mean, you see that he strips naked because he's, you know, got the blur stuff over, but you don't see all the other details they talk about. But apparently, he strips naked, chased a cat around with some whipped cream, and that's when they kind of come out as he's walking to the door, and it's like, it's this dude from the TV network going, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Bruh. Listen, when your face get plastered all over television, when you get caught doing something like that and your face gets plastered all over television, it's like, you done out here. You know what I mean? You done out here. Like, you're not going back to your job. You know what I mean? You're not going back to your job. You know, you can't go to your family gatherings. Like, you done out here. Like, you're done. That's mad. Like, bruh. But guys, we be watching X-Files X-Files season 3, start with episode 19. It's called Hell Money. So hopefully you're ready on zero. We'll be about to start it in just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm watching it on Disney Plus. If you got Disney Plus, or if you got it on DVD, Blu-ray, anything you got it on, get it ready on zero. Of course, if you don't have it, you don't want us to get it, it's all good. Still come along and have some fun. Also, this dilemma of, is it right to post because they deserve what they get, but their families go and puts them at risk? Oh no, for sure, that is true. That is true. That is true. Like, your brother did what? Your son did what? How much do you know about this? Are you hiding things? Yeah, and I get that. That's true. Innocent people could be caught in a crossfire, and especially when it gets like what's the word? Vigilante justice. Some people can get when they find out about certain people, and it can get a bit. They can start getting a bit rowdy and like, oh, we need to go there. And how many times has somebody tried to do something like that and they've gotten the wrong house? You know what I mean? So yeah. Offenders for sure. Shouldn't just show the offenders. Should just show the faces, no addresses. And to be honest, I don't. Well, I guess I haven't watched it enough to know, but I don't think they give out addresses. But I mean, let's be honest. People can find these things out. Like people can find these things out. All it takes is one person to recognize the guy, and that's it. That's all it takes. One person to recognize. Oh, that's my next door neighbor. That's that guy at my job. You know what I mean? All it takes is one person to recognize him. Yeah, mob mentality, exactly. Yeah, that can get real dangerous. But then again, maybe that's why they don't have that. Maybe why that show's not on TV no more, because it ended. I did look it up actually. It ended 2007. I did look it up. Yeah, 2007. Yeah, 2004 to 2007. It's only ran for about 3 years. But yeah, maybe that's why. Too many of the wrong people getting their ass beat by a bunch of yobbos. All right. Let's switch over to this screen. All right, I need to change this over. My bad. That's from yesterday. I haven't changed this thing yet. We're not watching a Running Man today. We watched Running Man yesterday. And if you missed it, too bad. You missed a good movie. All right, here we go. Well, we live in a world where these people exist and en masse. Running Man is awesome, but yeah, no, it's sad for sure. For sure. Alrighty. I hope you're ready, because we're about to go 3, 2, 1, play. And in 3, 2, 1, play. I decided The Running Man is my 3rd favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Wait, did I put subtitles on? They're on. Cool. I was watching some movie called American Gangster the other night. I couldn't get into it. American Gangster, the one with Denzel Washington. I don't think I've seen it, but I believe I know the movie you're talking about. What's number 1 and 2? Well, number 1 and 2 would be Predator and Terminator 2. I would say, depending on my mood, I might go Terminator 2 then Predator. But I think most times I'm going to go Predator then Terminator 2. But yeah, then The Running Man. Denzel. Denzel does not look his age. You know when the subtitles put speak in Chinese? It's like, for those of us who don't understand, what are we supposed to like get from this? Because if you understand the language, then you're gonna know exactly what they're saying, right? So it's not like they're hiding what they're saying, which means for those of us who don't understand it, shouldn't that be translated to English rather than just put speak in Chinese? It's like, okay, I can see that, but what am I supposed to understand from that? You literally could be saying anything right now. It's a lazy subtitling. Yeah, a lot of people prefer Terminator 1. I like Terminator 2 better as well. Yeah, Terminator 2 is just brilliant. I mean, 1 is good, of course, but Terminator 2 is just brilliant. Especially if you can find a director's cut of it, it's brilliant. But it's for me always. I just fucking adore that movie. Yeah. Dylan, you son of a bitch. What's the matter? See, I got you pushing too many pencils? Eh? Had it off? But I could quote that movie all day. Watch this channel where the guy and his missus go to check out the places where famous movies were actually set and find exact locations. The Terminator one. Oh, nice one. I remember the name of the channel now. I'll have a look. That's cool, man. I've seen stuff like that. Maybe not that channel specifically, but I've seen similar things where people go to um, like I've seen one on Instagram where the guy goes to places where bands, like musicians, have taken like pictures, and he visits them like 20, 30, 40 years later or something, and of course they're like mad different by the time you see it, but it's still cool. Even made watch Predator. I said to her, I don't care if you don't watch another army movie, as long as you watch that. She likes it. Uh, See, that's good parenting right there. Bring them up right. As soon as they're old enough to hear words and understand words, get them watching Predator. If possible, make it a yearly tradition. Oh, excuse me. To be honest though, I reckon if she didn't like Predator, you might have to consider putting her up for adoption. I'm just saying, just keeping it real, man. Just keeping it real. Like if you have a child and the child doesn't like Predator, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna have to like take you back or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think this is working out. channel's called Grim Life Collective. They did a vid traveling around Area 51, and that was pretty interesting. Oh, nice. Probably didn't see any aliens though. I have to agree. Yeah, of course, yeah. It's just the rules, man. It's just the rules. So if you don't watch it though, if you won't even watch Jaws, oof. Maybe when she's a little older. Maybe. Hopefully. Bay Area. Alright, so if you can visit any movie set, or any movie location rather, the real life location of any movie, which location would it be from which movie? That's my question for the group. If you can visit the real life location of any movie, which location would it be for which movie? I don't mean to brag, but I've actually already been to a pretty cool one already. Well, technically I've been to two, but it's the same movie, just two different places. I watched Jumanji a few months back, and oh, I frightened her so much she couldn't finish it. Wait, we talking about the Rock and Dwayne, or we talking about Robin Williams Jumanji? I ain't gonna lie, the Rock Jumanji. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it didn't need to be made either, you know. The Scream House would be cool to see. Oh yeah, that'd be a good one. Imagine that girl still hanging in the driveway, in the garage, just hanging, just left there, like yeah, we're just gonna leave this girl here. Robin Williams one, okay. Yeah, maybe when she's a little older. Yeah. I still call BS on her struggling to get through that hole though, because nah. If her whole chest was able to fit through that gap, there was no good reason for the rest of her body to struggle getting through. Like, no, I'm not buying that. Once the top half got through, it's like, no, you're getting through. Like, come on now. Just quit playing. Quit playing. When I was in New York, I went to the fire station where Ghostbusters was filmed. Well, at least the outside bit. I'm sure the main bits were probably done on some movie set or something, but the outside part of the fire station. Yeah, I got to see that, and also got to see the New York Public. Also went to the New York Public Library. But here's the thing about the New York Public Library. Ghostbusters, you know the scene where the books are all floating around and flying off the shelves and stuff like that. In the movie, that scene is set in the New York Public Library. Here's the thing, however, and this is what I found out when I got there. Although that scene is set in the New York Public Library, it was actually filmed in Los Angeles Public Library. So I haven't been to the LA Public Library, but I have at least been to the public library where that scene was set, just not actually filmed. But let her down, men like but cat flaps don't. Kevin from Evil Dead. Evil Dead. Yeah, with Bruce. Bruce Campbell. Yeah, yeah. I would be smart though and leave the book alone. I'm not pretty sure I've seen Evil Dead, but I really can't remember much what happens in it. I need to watch those movies again. It's been too long. But yeah, it was something about it was like a book. He opens like a hand comes out of the book and demons start rising or zombies or something start coming out of the earth. I can't remember, so it's been too long. But yeah, and it keeps going off. Oof. Hopefully that resolves soon. It's the old movie with zombies in the supermarket. I mean, not gonna lie, Reese, you might want to be more specific. That could be one of the one of the Nights of the Living Dead movies. I think one of those, like Day of the Dead, I think had a zombies in the supermarket. Um, 28 Days Later, I think there was a supermarket scene. I can't remember. I don't think there was zombies in that one though. Zombieland, maybe, I don't remember, but might have. I think a helicopter comes at the end. Yeah, I think that might be Dawn of the Dead. Was it Day of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead? The second one, anyway. That's Dawn of the Dead, isn't it? I think I said Day of the Dead, but one of them was the second one, and I think it's the second one that has like that scene where they're in like a big shopping mall. There's like 4 or 5 people in a shopping mall. Yeah, it might be Dawn of the Dead. I haven't seen it for 20 years. Yeah, it's a good movie. And then the third one, I think that's Day of the Dead. That's the one with Bob. That guy looks like Mulder. Oh, Scully got jokes. Bob, I wanna look after Bob. Bob was cool, man. Like when he shot that guy at the end, killed the guy that killed his mentor. Frogs coming out the stomach. Yo. Remember this bit where a zombie is pulling some guy's intestines out and eating them. Oh yeah, eating them while he's screaming. The movie has to be 28 days later. It's a shame they never made a decent sequel. Yeah, they did do something called 28 months later or something. I never watched it, but it just sounded like a terrible idea, and I just never got around to it. But 28 Days Later was a good movie. Best zombie movie though? Yeah, no, watched it. Maybe I have to check it out at some point, but bruh. Let's see, what is everyone's favorite zombie movie? We only got one for Reese, 28 Days Later. Everybody else, what is your favorite zombie? What do you think is the best zombie movie in your opinion? I'm gonna have a quick little think because I want to say Night of the Living Dead, but I feel like that's an obvious choice. So maybe, and it's a good film, of course. Just because it's an obvious choice, don't mean it's bad, but and it does a lot that I think even by today's standards still holds up very well from a filmmaking and storytelling perspective. Does a lot just in terms of being a well-made film, so it holds up very well. But is it the best? Oof, or is it my favorite? Oof. Shaun of the Dead. Oh yes, of course, yes. They took to him like he's a suspect. Or maybe he is. Shaun of the Dead is very close second. Shaun of the Dead is a masterpiece for sure. Well, that scene we had to shoot his own mother though. Oof. Wasn't keen on the Hot Fuzz one though, to be honest. Hot Fuzz, I liked Hot Fuzz. That was the police one, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah. When the London policeman going up to like that small town. What else? These World Wars. Yeah, did not like that at all. Not seen that. Yeah, not seen it either. But all right. Maybe not. Maybe not rush for that one then. Good finish. Off that bad. Maybe it should be called World War Z. World War Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z. What's the other one? Where they go on a pub crawl in a weird town. That was a bit weird as well. Pub crawl in a. Not sure I know that one. Unless that's the same movie. I'm just. Well, if you watch the same movie multiple times with different grades of highness, then yeah, you might notice different things. You might notice some different things. Not that I'm recommending you do, by the way, but I'm just saying. Firstly, when I went to watch Lord of the Rings, oh, for sure, those movies are boring. I can't believe people like those movies, man. They're so long and boring. And I don't mind long, by the way. They're just boring. It's just long and boring is a bad combination. If you're gonna be boring, at least have the decency to be a short movie. It's like they were long and boring. It's like no, that's just not okay. I feel that way about Harry Potter. I'll definitely take Harry Potter over the Lord of the Rings. So how hard up do you have to be to sell body parts? Trying to help his daughter. He sold his eye. An eye for a, well. I don't know the way this cost of living is. I would be open to selling it off. Hear that? Getting bad, isn't it? For sure, for sure. You can live without a kidney though, right? Like you don't need both kidneys. I mean, because people get like kidney transplants all the time, innit? So you could probably take out one of your kidneys and be fine. I had potato for tea the other day. A sliced potato. If you fry it up, you could call it chips. I remember the last time shopping was less than 100 quid. Oh, mate. Oh, wait, that's £100 for 5 people? Am I counting that right? Five. I know the Saxon. I can't think of his name right now, but he's done a lot of movies, like Hong Kong movies. He's also in Everything Everywhere All at Once as the grandfather. I went to the shop the other day. Uh, uh, yeah, we'll catch up chatting a little bit. No one leaves the game. He's in way over his head. I can't believe when I went to the shop the other day, I don't usually go in. And this is that. Little bottles of Coke were 2 quid. £2 for bottles of Coke, raw. And little bottles as well. So it came to 97. I was so excited. It came down to 100. But hopefully that cooking was like £2.99. Cooking was about £5. Oh, mate. Tough. That's tough. I'm gonna have to start rationing out things. Everybody gets one slice of bread for breakfast, and that's it. One slice of bread and a glass of water. That's everybody's breakfast. And if they're really good, they can have a banana with it. Oh wait. Oh, for sure. Like a lot of these companies are just in prime position to make a lot of money out of these situations. And it's kind of how things go, isn't it? Where there's tragedy, there's profit. You know, that's just the way of the world, unfortunately. And oftentimes, big profit for people in the right position. Because everybody has to go to the same place or the same places to get things. And there's maybe only a few places you can go. Just the money man playing more games or something. We all have to suffer. Yeah, it could be. I mean, truth is like there's so much things that happen that we only know like a tiny little bit of, and how much of what we're told is true versus how much of what we're told is complete lies. You know, we're probably never gonna know, or certainly not anytime soon. You know, so yeah. Is the unfortunately the only one that seems to be okay with is the floral sunflower. Do you know how to recycle oil, Sam? If you don't, I could put you on game how to recycle oil and save a little bit of money on buying and rebuying oil. There's ways you can it could be recycled. I mean, I can't promise the quality is going to be as good. You know, it results may vary, but you can recycle oil. Interest for stop people. I don't have much incentive. We have just to pay whatever ridiculous sums of money. It comes up. We need film clothes. No, exactly. But I feel like at some point it's just gonna come to a head because like everything goes up except wages. Like that's kind of how the story goes. But it's true. Wages are typically the last things to kind of go up, so we're always somewhat behind the rate of inflation. You know. And eventually it's gonna have, if it keeps going like that, eventually it's gonna get to a point where people literally just cannot afford anything, and the poverty line would be like 99.999% of people in the country, because like you might be earning 100,000 a year and still can't afford bread or something. It could get like that. It's just madness. Yeah, I'd pass. I would rather pay for it. Pay for it. Well, there's certain things you learn when you grow up poor. You know, certain things you learn, certain sort of tricks that you learn about when you grow up poor, and that's one of them. But I get it. I get it. Sometimes you just gotta treat yourself. It's a fresh oil. It's actually quite easy to do it, by the way. So it's really just like straining it out. So if you use the oil to fry things or whatever, um, you just get like a sieve and kitchen towel. You know, put a sieve over a bowl, put a kitchen towel over the sieve, and just pour it slowly into it, and it collects all like the dirt and whatever else out of the oil, and just strains out clean oil into the pot into the pot. But you can't pour it too fast, otherwise you just split everywhere. So you just gotta go pour it slowly, and maybe use 2 pieces of kitchen towel to get a cleaner strain. But now you know. If you ever change your mind, that's how you recycle oil. Well, people on exactly much like these days, like a kind of revolution or the alpha bells have been successfully removed, in my opinion. Only by like once a month. Okay, fair enough. Once a month. I guess you can manage once a month. Um, the thing about that though is like I feel like that is somewhat of a misnomer. The idea of, I mean, there's always going to be people who are willing to do the types of jobs that most people aren't, right? Like whether it's mining, working on oil rigs, working in sewers, those types of jobs. Like there's always going to be people who are willing to do those types of jobs that most people aren't. You know, but the truth is that people were always going to change because society changes. Like, if you go back far enough, you had to learn how to hunt, you had to learn how to cook, had to learn how to skin animals, you had to learn how to, protect, you had to learn how to defend and everything else, right? But as society grows, right, as society grows and, people, you know, build, say, safer places and new systems, you're able to specialize more. All right. So it's not, I don't think so much that the macho man has gone. It's just how it looks has changed. You know, it just looks different to how it would it looked 50 years ago or 100 years ago. The change is sometimes orchestrated from the top down. I mean, I mean, change is inevitable, though, isn't it? Because like whether it's technologies, whether it's ideas, whether it's whatever, change is inevitable, and there's only so much you can. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't want to sound like some naive person who thinks everything. I get it, but I think there's certain things that we have to accept that we are ultimately part of that change, through better or worse. I mean, there's certain things that are always going to be outside of your control. It's like the Chinese smoking, man. There's always going to be certain things that are just outside of your control. But ultimately, it's like, as we buy into whether it's new things or new ways or whatever else, we do things because ultimately we look at what is the best choice for ourselves, right? How do I best navigate this world for me? What do I need to do to get as much out of life as possible? And that's always going to lead to a difference in how things are done, whether it's the way a farmer farms now is different to the way a farmer farmed, 100 years ago. So there's always going to be a change in attitudes and a change in ideas and a change in just how the world is seen, because the world is ultimately evolving along with it. Vanished like a ghost. What else, right? What was wrong with MSN Messenger and Blockbuster? Well, that's the inevitable evolution of that. Like, nobody, I mean, nobody asked for it, sure, but it caught on, right? Like, my sister called me. Alright, one sec, one sec. It's like with anything, nobody really asks for um innovation. Or more specifically, no one really asks for like certain things, but if it doesn't happen, innovation doesn't happen, right? Everything we have was at some point invented by somebody. And before that, nobody knew about it, right? So, for example, MSN Messenger, nobody asked for MSN Messenger, but somebody invented it and it caught on, right? Nobody asked for, well, I guess some people technically ask for the internet in terms of like having a way of communicate, but you know what I mean? It's like a lot of times the things that we have are not necessarily because we ask for it specifically, but somebody identifies a need and looks at like, okay, well, here is a need for something. Nobody's saying asking for it, but there is a person sees a need for it, creates something to fulfill that need, and then when you see it, you're like, oh, I this is a really cool idea. I wasn't necessarily asking for it, but now that it's here, I can see there's a use for it. So that's kind of how these things ultimately catch on. There has to be a use for it. Like there has to be some kind of value that people get out of whether it's Facebook or whatever. And yeah, there are pitfalls to social media. There's always good, and that's the unfortunate kind of side effects of it. But ultimately, there has to be a value in anything for it to catch on that widely. It can't just be like, here you go, make it popular. It has to be popular for a reason. Like everything becomes popular for a reason, and that reason is often related to some kind of value, whether it's entertainment, whether it's educational. Facebook back in the day was when it started was actually mostly, well, entirely just college students. Like it wasn't really intended to be this big worldwide thing in the beginning. It was really just a way of college students like kind of messaging each other about their nights out and parties and posting their nudie pictures on in a place and just having kind of fun with it. It's only later on where somebody had the idea to kind of branch it out to a more public domain is when of course it started catching on worldwide. But in the beginning it really was just intended as this thing for college students. But ultimately there's a value that people extract from it. They go on it, they're looking at pictures, they're liking it, interacting with people, and they're having fun with it. That branches out into the broader public, and people in the general public are now finding value in it because they're able to communicate with people that maybe you don't see so often. Maybe you can keep in contact with people without having to call every single person. So it becomes something that you didn't necessarily ask for, but there is a value in what it provides. The downside, of course, is that there's an addictive nature, the addictive side to it, and that's where you have problems with social media anxiety. People having issues with like self-worth and everything else that kind of came of it. But that's kind of the nature of life as well. Anytime you have something new that solves a problem, so to speak, it's inevitably going to create a new problem, right? Anything you can invent, anything that's ever existed, it solves one problem, creates another problem, and those problems that it creates aren't anticipated. Mostly aren't anticipated, but they are still there. Now, sometimes the problems are very, very small and minor, and they don't matter. And certainly, they don't. And in a lot of cases, they may not create problems that are big, big problems. But in other cases, like Facebook or social media, yeah, it did end up creating massive problems that nobody really anticipated, because these things weren't necessarily new. It was just a new way of doing what people were already doing, like BBM message. I don't remember that back in the day, or some old school ways that people used to like communicate. So it wasn't strictly speaking a new thing. It was just a new way of doing it. But yeah, it's like, how much of that is, can you say, it's orchestrated? Like it's hard to say that somebody was sitting at the top saying, I'm gonna make everybody feel anxious about social media, because it's such an unanticipated chain of events that, to say that that was orchestrated. I mean, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I do think that's probably unlikely. That being said, of course, like, there are things that people look into and say, okay, this is what's happening now. How do I best take advantage of it? And that's from a government level, that's from a business level, that's from a personal level. Everybody's kind of looking at these things and thinking, how do I use this to my advantage? How do government bodies use social media to gain votes, to manipulate maybe people's thoughts? All of these things are happening, and that's somewhat evident. you know but it's inevitable. It's all inevitable. Like, anytime you have something, it's always going to be used for good, used for evil, and everything in between, because that's that human nature of things. But yeah, that was my little ramble. That was a decent episode. What was it called again? Hell Money. That was an interesting episode. Bit lazy with the subtitling, but it was an interesting episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Let's get the next episode ready. Get it ready on 0. We'll start it in a little bit. Start it just a little bit. We'll get it ready on 0 for now. I'll let you know when to press play. Dinner. Pinky customers. What about that? Fried drink, for example. The whole agency gives under some kind of spell. I get up for it. That's a truth. It was in a different bowl with a different brand name. It's suddenly worthless. Prime is rank. I'll get it myself. Yeah, appreciate the argument. That's a good point. All these problems are going to arise from anything new and big. But the CEOs of social media don't exactly have people's mental health as their main concern. Probably thinking more about their bank account. And those people are the keyholes. No, for sure, for sure. Ultimately, like, all these platforms exist to keep you on it for as long as possible, and they're going to talk about improving mental health, and they're going to talk about all the things they need to talk about to look good in the public eye. Because for them to come out and say, we don't care about your mental health, we just want your eyes, if they were to say that, of course that makes them look bad, and there's bad publicity and everything else. So they're never going to say that, but ultimately, yeah, they need to keep people on their sites for as long as possible so they can serve ads and make their money, and this, that, and the other. So as much as they talk about mental health, because they kind of need to, yeah, it's never going to be there. And of course, they're going to do certain things to maybe help and alleviate and this, that, and they're going to have certain things in place, but it's never going to be their main priority. I've never tried Prime though. Like, I feel like, I imagine it's well, it probably depends on which flavor you get. I assume it's depending on how nice it is. But the big thing about Prime is that it was KSI and Logan Paul, who are two massively popular um, YouTubers. Well, I guess not really just YouTubers anymore, like they're boxers and do all kinds of other stuff, but they're massively popular content creators. So they started this company, Prime Energy, Prime, whatever it's called, made a drink. And because of their popularity, of course, the drink was popular as well. And then I think at the beginning it was like stock issues. That I would definitely believe was probably a deliberate choice to purposefully have low stock. I mean, they'll never admit that, but I would not be surprised if they purposefully had low stock just to have like the whole thing about it's sold out, and of course that ends up generating more buzz. Um, but yeah, that was the big thing, is because it was KSI and Logan Paul, and that's why that was so popular, or at least the biggest reason why it was so popular. It's interesting though, the way people become brainwashed by social media and political agendas on the socials. People fall for it, but some of us see through it. It's interesting to me, indeed. People easily influence, but it's interesting how some are more easily influenced than others. Uh, Snake oil businessman. Snake oil was that Wild Wild West terminology. Good at it. I'll give him that. Logan. Oh, the Logans. Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be that, isn't it? That snake oil business mentality is just trying to sell you something and promise you the world, but can barely deliver a village. You know what I mean? It's always going to be, that kind of person, right? They would always exist, and I guess when it comes down to it, we're all susceptible in some level to marketing or influences and things like that. Of course, not in the same way and to the same thing, but we're all going to be susceptible in some level, in some way. But it's like being mindful of how these things are used. Like, for example, I mean, I'm sure you've seen targeted ads. If you search for, I don't know, holidays to Spain or whatever, and then you start seeing a bunch of adverts talking about discount holidays to Melo, I don't know, Madrid, or you know what I mean, things like that. It's part of it. Like, it's part of targeting and recognizing that, okay, this person has an interest in something. Let's target this towards them. And on one hand, it's not a bad idea because, of course, they want to sell their products, and who knows, maybe you want to be, and if you are interested in going to Spain, want to get a discount. So it's not a bad thing in that sense, but yeah, it can mean on the more, say, um, dubious side of things, where if you have a whole bunch of information on things that people are interested in, how much of that can be used to potentially coerce somebody or even manipulate somebody into, I don't want to say doing something, but maybe thinking a certain thing, or something like that. If I know that you have certain interests, I might start presenting things to you in a way that triggers maybe certain things that you might be sensitive about, or certain emotions that could potentially trigger like something like that. You're gonna get riled up, because the more you can get somebody kind of riled up about things, the more I can get to engage them with something. It's like, especially on on negativity. I mean, I'm sure you notice that when you see things being posted, it's oftentimes the extreme or the more extreme negative opinions that get the most attention, and they start being spread around and commented on, and this, that, and the other. And so, how much of that can be used to goad somebody into, like, we're going back to the idea of staying on social media? How much of that can be used to goad somebody to stay in that little bit longer on a platform, commenting that little bit more on a platform, and serving you more ads on that platform? So yeah, there's definitely scumbags out there for sure. Their lives through social media, yeah, actually, I feel communication skills with is that different opinions. I think with adverts though, like I mean, advertising is just everywhere, isn't it? Like, you can't escape adverts, and adverts by and large aren't necessarily bad things, because, like, on one hand, if you have a product to sell, one of the ways you let people know you have a product to sell is by advertising it. If I want to sell you this, but I never, a controller, but I never let anybody know that I'm selling controllers, it's probably going to be real difficult to sell controllers. So I need to do something to let people know that I'm selling controllers, right? So we advertise. And if I know that there's certain groups that are more likely to want to buy a controller, maybe people who are more interested in games and things like that, I'm probably going to focus my adverts more on that group. So advertising makes sense from that perspective, that you need to let people know that you have something. But I mean, everybody ultimately buys something, not necessarily because they saw it advertised, but you gotta buy something based on some kind of marketing. Whether it's an advert specifically, or whether it's word of mouth, whether it's somebody's opinion, whether it's a review that you saw, whether you saw an offer at the shop when you was walking by, you were looking to get I don't know, a new whatever, and you went to the shop and you saw they had a special deal going on, and if you buy this thing and you get another thing at half, you know what I mean, things like that. Like we're all gonna see some kind of promotion, some kind of marketing, and that's not the bad thing. That's just how it kind of has to be. Like advertising ultimately is like a necessary evil. Like YouTube, for example, exists because of adverts. Like if it wasn't for adverts, you'd all be paying for it. We'd all be paying for YouTube. You cannot run a site like this with the service they have, you know, and not have it paid for by something, right? So you need these systems in order for YouTube to be a free service. And yeah, I know they have the paid option, but you ultimately need, if you're going to have a free option, then it needs to be supported some way, and that's going to be advertising. So it's kind of a necessary evil. A lot of times, yeah, we don't, they can be intrusive, or they can be a bit too much. And that everywhere you go, or the ad breaks run too long, or the skip ad button takes like way too long to show up. And I get it, nobody kind of likes that, but it kind of has to be there as well. Otherwise, none of this happens. Sponsorship is a form of advertising. When you see YouTubers or anybody getting sponsored, that's a form of advertising. And maybe you don't buy right there and then because you saw them because they had a sponsorship deal. But one day when you're in the market for something or looking for something, you might be like, hey, this guy's giving out a discount code. You know what I mean? It's that kind of repeat information that it resides in your mind, that they don't need you to buy it there and then. They don't need you to run to the shop and buy it right away. It just needs to be embedded in your mind deep enough so that one day when you are looking for something, it's more like recognizable, you know. Like a version of themselves in a real life one. And then one says things a real life one would never. Oh, for sure, for sure. I want air fry. Air fries are pretty cool, Air fries are pretty cool. We've probably all been programmed to be a bit materialistic due to things like Christmas when the TV tells you, and you basically have to show how much you care. Yo, yeah. And that's like something you hear your whole life, right? So it's gonna have some kind of effect on you, whether a direct effect or a delayed effect. It's if you hear a message enough times, it's going to have some kind of effect on you, Yeah, American Master of the Elf. Oh, for sure. I mean, they spend enough money to do it, so best believe, best believe. All right, let's get this next episode started. Hopefully, you're ready on zero. We're about to go 3, 2, 1, play. It's called episode 20. Jose Chung's from Outer Space. So if you're ready, 3, 2, 1, play. But yeah, man, it's like social conditioning, media marketing, all of that. It's existed for such a long time that a lot of times we don't even think about it. Like you walk down the street, how many billboards do you see? Loads, right? You see loads, and a lot of them you probably don't even pay that much attention to. I mean, every now and then you might see something that catches your eye, but for the most part, you're probably just walking past them, right? But they're still there. They're still there. Man told a girl he loves her on the first date. Raw. You brave for that. So happens when you tell a girl you love her on the first date, aliens come and take you away. It's like, bad move, man. Bad move. Should have waited for at least a second date. Why are the aliens always naked though in these things? What kind of 1973 stop motion is this? Jack, you know. All right. It's exhausting to be honest. There sometimes I think about what it would be like to get as far away from everything. Maybe live as part of a small community of people. I feel completely incompatible with the world sometimes. Yeah, I know. I get that. I get that. It's like everybody's on one wavelength and you just feel like you're on a completely different wavelength. Like the way you see the world is just like different. And hardly anybody around you seems to get it. I feel like the world wasn't really created for people like us. I get that feeling. I get it. But yeah, all we can do is all we can do. Yeah, old soul said, oof, indeed. I'm an old soul, at least 10,000 years old. Yeah, I want to be doing something I consider meaningful, like building a house or living to farm. Modern world just seems so meaningless half the time. Most of the jobs people do just seem to exist just so that person can have a salary, whatever. It's all just stuff we don't need. Excess. Do you ever think about doing that? I mean, you can like buy a plot of land and like just build a house and get some animals and grow food. You can do that. I mean, it's possible to do it. I mean, I don't know your finances. So don't want to make too many assumptions. So it's possible to do that. So is that something that you thought about? Something that you plan on doing? have to do that and probably find purpose in my life. Indeed. That's it, man. You just gotta find something that you can be passionate about. I think that's when you're winning in life, when you can find something that you're passionate about and do that thing. You know, not everybody gets to do that for one reason or another, you know, but if you can find something that does that for you, and it's like, yeah, man. Some money game though, isn't it? Like everything else, if you want out of the system, you're gonna have to pay for it. Let's see, how much does it cost to buy land? I mean, I guess it depends on where you're buying the land, I suppose, but let's see if we can find that real quick. We need to get Reese a business plan. So depending on where you're buying, and this is as of 2021, so it's a few years ago, by the way, a couple of years back. So imagine the price is probably a little bit more expensive now. But you can get land for around 9 to 10,000. Well, say about 9 to 11,000 pounds in the UK. You could buy farmland. Is that farmland? Oh, one sec. Will I search? Yeah, farmland. You can buy farmland for around 9 to 11,000 pounds in the UK. That's not too bad, you know. That's not too bad, all things considering. That's actually cheaper than I thought it would be. I follow this bad guy on TikTok because he is from Hull. He read out his comment he got about how someone was surprised by his accent because, you know, he's black. I said, um, he's black. I said, well, black people don't have regional accents. Mind blowing. Indeed. Some people are just, yeah. Some people are just like you can't, like if you're from somewhere, why would you have the accent of that place like that? Probably expect him to talk with a Jamaican accent or something. That's me. I like everyone else. I like everyone else. Okay, accustomed to relying on the system, but I have to deprogram myself, and that would be hard work if indeed. I mean, you can still have internet, by the way. As long as you're internet, you're doing all right. Sufficient isn't just a fire drink. It's actually obtainable. That's cheaper than I thought, indeed. Yeah, self-sufficient sounds cool. I'm far too lazy for that. Yeah, Sam's a lady of leisure. She needs somebody to give her foot massages and feed her grapes. That's what Elliot should be doing. As soon as he gets home from work, he should be giving you foot massages and feeding you grapes. You could make a house out of pallets or something. If it wasn't for adding permission, etc. The system basically wanted some money of you. And this might feel like customers all locked in the supermarket. something new today. Accent is race based on regional. Well, who would have thought, huh? Who would have thought? Remember I met a guy who was surprised that I was from London. He was like, "Really? I don't know black people from London." He literally said that to me. I was like, I don't know if you ever have a moment when somebody said something so asinine that you just like, what? How do I respond to that? Do you know what I mean? Like, what? Like, huh? Guess he's not been to the West Ham. It was like this guy who was the ex-boyfriend of one of my friends, right? So he's an American guy, and it was when I was in South Africa. So I'm hanging out with my friend over there that used to live there. She's kind of taking me around town, and we happen to run into this guy who's a American dude, her ex-boyfriend, and so they're kind of talking, and I'm just standing over, just let them talk it out, whatever. And eventually he says to me, he just calls over to me and says, "So where are you from?" And I'm like, "I'm from London." And he goes, "Really? I don't know black people from London." I'm like, "Yeah, now I know why you're the ex-boyfriend." Like, you dumbass. Don't have to touch my face. The feeding of grapes is fine though. Grapes, yes. Hands off though. It's okay. It's like that. He doesn't like her being touched. I actually want to get a pedicure one of these days. Like I've never had a pedicure ever, which probably not that surprising. I don't think a lot of dudes get pedicures, but yo, what up, Brax Spiver? Never had a massage or anything like that. Yeah, need to get one. I never. Well, that's not true. I guess I've had massages, but not like a professional massage, like from a professional masseuse. It's more like when somebody is like, yeah, let me like they try, they try their best. But yeah, I've never had like a professional masseuse kind of massage. They try, yeah. They can't be mad. They're trying. They're trying. Yo, Frederick. Well, we've been speaking. We've been speaking about feet, so of course Frederick turns up. How you doing, Fred? Been a minute. Your sister masseuse. Okay, that's cool. And what? She never gave you no massages? She was giving you free massages. She get like friends and family discounts. I mean, weird though, to be honest. Been coughing, congested nose, nosebleeds from congested nose, the usual when I get sick. Oh, damn, feel better, man. Hope you feel better soon, dude. Bye for now. Dude, you just got here about bye for now. I appreciate coming through. Also noticed the new profile pic. That much fair. You know, some of my views can be a little extreme. I think I'm mental, probably. Well, we're never going to survive unless we get a little crazy. Yeah, thank you. I hope you're getting sick. And that's me right now. Oof. This guy kind of looks like Jesse Ventura. Man turns up and tells you saw Venus. You saw Venus. I'm struggling to keep up tonight. I'm tired. Oof. Yeah. We out here late. By the way, guys, a little announcement while few people are in the chat right now. So from next year, from January, maybe February, I'm going to be dropping down to 2 streams per week and possibly even dropping down to 1 stream a week. That's from January or February. Hopefully we can get through Arnie season before that happens. But yeah, me dropping down to 2 and maybe even just 1 stream a week from January or February. For now. I what you saying. I appreciate you, Fred. A few reasons. I mean, to be honest, 3 streams a week has been feeling a bit much for a while. A bit much for me for a while. But also with, you know, hopefully be buying a house soon, trying to travel more, you know, do all that kind of stuff. And also I'm trying to have some of that life I keep hearing about. You know, I want to start dating again. You know, I want to start meeting girls again. Well, women, not girls, but you know. Let me let me get myself cancelled just yet. I want to start meeting women again. You know, and I just feel like I'm gonna need time for that. So yeah, it's been a like I say, it has been a bit of a struggle anyway, but I think it's gonna be more of a struggle trying to do it and do all that as well. So I'm gonna drop down to two, possibly one. I have to see how it works out, but yeah, from next year. But hopefully, you know, I'll be able to do more and share some of that in vlog form with you guys, and so I'm not abandoning you too much, just in live stream format. Well, not entirely, because I'm still trying to get at least one a week, you know. My husband wants to play. Yeah, that's this. Yeah, but at least I'm telling you about it, though. I'm not being dishonest. That's got to count for something. Yeah, appreciate that, Reese. You want me to date your sister, Fred? Well, first of all, how old is your sister, and is she hot with big tits? No, no. I'm playing. I'm playing. No. I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm playing. You don't bench completely. No, we're trying to do that. We're trying to do that. Fred, listen, I'm only playing around. I'm only playing around. I hope I didn't offend or anything. I'm just older than you. But how old though? Like, because I don't even know how old you are. So like, how old is she? Because like, I ain't trying to date no 17-year-old or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't trying to end up on these catch a predator shows. Like that. That ain't me, fam. So all right, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, it should be honest about you. Yeah, I figured we have an open relationship, right? I figure that's what it is, one of those open relationships. You know, you got your fella and Idris. I'm just trying to get me a little son, son. I get it. It's all about you and your needs. Exactly. That's exactly true. I have needs. I appreciate that, Reese. Appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, like I'm just trying to do more, you know, with life and stuff. Want to travel more. Got a whole list of things I want to try and do before 50, which even if I don't complete everything on the list, I at least want to try and do as much as I can, you know. Do I like smelly women? Well, I guess everybody has a smell, but whether they have a nice smell or a bad smell is a different thing. I guess we all prefer nice smells, right? Where's smellies? She buys from shop. What are smellies? I don't know what they are. Men can wear smellies too, but I don't. What are smellies? Cool. Oh, perfume. Okay, okay. I mean, yeah, you can wear perfume if you want to. I mean, I typically don't, but you know, there's no wrong with that if you want to wear perfume. Abby, that's your sister, right? She wears perfume. The thing is, men, yeah, a lot of times men would say aftershave, but the truth is that aftershave and perfume are two different things. Like aftershave is what you put on literally after you shave because it soothes the skin, but fragrances or is like perfume is just another word for fragrances, which men would wear as well. Men do wear fragrances, like it's just not necessarily aftershave. Like that, I feel like the term aftershave is what a lot of guys use because feminine, because perfume sounds too feminine. But the truth is that if you wear any kind of fragrance, that is a perfume. Aftershave is just what you use to soothe your skin after you shave. So it's like I don't know. When anytime I hear a man say aftershave, I'm like, how secure are you about your sexuality? That's what I'm thinking. How secure are you? Because you don't shave clearly. You know, you got a big ass beard on. You're not shaving. Just call it what it is. It's perfume. You're wearing perfume, and there's nothing wrong with wearing perfume. But let's call it what it is. Man getting slept up. I like him, so he's smart and clever. Yeah, I wear perfume. I used to wear like the Lynx deodorants and stuff. I used to try those when I was in school, but nah, not. I don't really bother with a lot of that these days. Yo, Ben. How you been, Ben? Appreciate you coming in. I have a casual vanilla one if I'm going out. I'll pinch L's Prada one. Prada, okay. Fancy stuff. Yeah, definitely take that. Oh, someone else on stream this morning. Sad to see you plan to go down from free streams to one, but I can understand your reason for it. I appreciate that, Ben. Thank you. But yeah, hopefully still we could get through the rest of Arnie season at least. 'Cause I don't think we've got too much to go on that anyway. We ain't got too much to go in Arnie season. The only thing is that we might not. We'll see how we get with X Files though. We'll see what happens with that. Whatever day month when you plan to make the change, do you think you'll still do extra streams a week from time to time? I don't have a specific date in mind. I mean, kind of have to kind of decide a bit nearer to the time to see how things go. But right now, I'm going to say January or February. But yeah, I don't have an exact date in mind right now. Just kind of see how it is nearer to the time. But yeah, I could still. I mean, I could maybe try and do like a more of the impromptu live streams from time to time as well. Depending on where I am and the reception and blah blah blah. But yeah, I still want to do stuff, but I just think I need to be a little less scheduled. I don't spend that kind of money on perfume myself, so I'll pitch hers. No, for sure, for sure. Sweet potato pie is nice though. Like, I don't know if you ever had sweet potato pie. I'm pretty sure Braxton has, being from Louisiana. But if you ain't never had sweet potato pie, but you are missing out. The way Molly's eating them after one after the other, yep, that's exactly right. Once you start, you can't stop. It's that good. That's good to hear. You mix the one live stream up or keep the shows consistent. I don't know. I guess mix it up is probably the best thing to do. Like maybe like do because I know a little while ago we used to do like 1 week movie, next week TV, 1 week movie, next week TV. So I might do something like that. That's probably like a good idea. That's probably the best way to do it, I think. Um, but yeah, again, I guess we'll decide a bit near as well. Yeah, Braxton's better at sweet potato pie. I hope Abby's not Fred's girlfriend. He said it was his sister a little while ago. Dude was trying to set me up with her. Yeah, yep, really. Trying to set me up with his sister. Won't tell me how old she is though. I don't know. That sounds a bit dodgy to me, to be honest with you. I ain't agreeing to that. I ain't trying to end up on no TV show. I, I ain't trying to end up on some mad YouTube channel talking about, oh, I just came to get a cupcake. Like, I ain't trying to do that. There's nothing for you there, Hayes, for real. Like, nah, I think I'll pass, thanks. It should. Oh, I don't really wear it. I used to paint those nails black. I see a red door and I want it painted black. Wait, you're trying to set you up with that sounds dodgy in fairness. Well, I mean, I'm a catch, so obviously, like, who wouldn't want me to date their sister? I'm just saying, like, that's not weird at all. Yeah, how's it been? Yeah, it's been okay for me. Working on a collab video that I don't mean I don't know when the video's gonna be out, but hopefully I'll be able to finish off my bit of the video tomorrow and send it to the guy who's doing it. So the coffee can come in handy for sure, for sure. Actually, speaking of that, you know what I did today? I actually walked to my nearest McDonald's, which is about a mile and a little bit away from where I live, right? And I walked here because I'm trying to be fit, blah 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 blah, get my steps in. So I didn't actually plan it that way. I just kind of felt like walking, and I wasn't even planning on walking to McDonald's. I just literally just felt like walking, so I was walking, and I got to McDonald's, and I remembered that I probably still have that free coffee token, so I used that to get a free coffee. and just sat in a McDonald's with had a coffee, and I just thought, you know what, this is something I should probably do more often. You know, I really don't take advantage of the things around me as much as I could and probably should. But yeah, it was actually nice to just kind of walk to the McDonald's, have a coffee, chill for a little bit, and go back. What video was that? Bad. Hey, washing. Wash machine has been playing up. It's been. Oh, mate. McDonald's fatigue tonight. That doesn't sound good. So I don't know if here's John now. Actually, real quick. So earlier, Reese was saying that when he says tea, he means like the evening meal, like dinner, right? The evening dinner. Now, I've always thought tea refers to like your kind of maybe little midday afternoon type short meal, like what I mean, like a small kind of not necessarily like a full on meal, but like a small kind of meal in the midday. So Sam, when you say tea, what time of the day and what type of meal are you talking about? Because I'm getting the impression that different people mean different things when they say tea. But the video in question, Ben, is it's I guess you call it a reaction video, but it's not like a full on react. Like it's not like a proper reaction. It's more of a scripted reaction. But the guy does a lot of these follow ups uh, to uh, um, to catch a predator. People who've been on to catch a predator, and he talks about them like what they're doing now, what's happened after the show, and that kind of stuff. And he asked me to provide a few comments on a particular video. He's seen like my movie videos, my Haze's movie room videos, and he just thought that that kind of style can work well with what he's doing. So he asked me to to come up with a few comments on the video, so I did, and so I just need to record it, send it to him, and see how that video turns out. But yeah, it was kind of fun to do something a little bit different. I mean, once in a while, try something else, try something new, and it's how we keep creative, or one of the ways in which we keep creative by trying new things every so often. That was episode 20. We got one more episode to go. We'll get it ready on 0. But we'll let you know when to press play. But that episode was interesting, like whether the kids were lying about the aliens or not. It seemed like they probably were, but were they? Was it something else? And I guess that's all kind of part of the X Files things. This episode did seem weird though, with stories going back and forth and aliens smoking cigarettes, speaking English. But hey, why not? They're aliens. Why would we understand what they do? But the next episode is episode 21. It's called Avatar. And I don't think this is the last Airbender, but anyway, get it ready on 0. I'm gonna start playing. I'll let you know to press play in a little bit. So T is okay. So you call T? I'm pretty sure. Like I know I've always thought of T as like middays, but let me see something. Maybe right, when is tea time? Maybe it is different in different places, or maybe I just got it wrong. When is tea time? Okay, so here the top result says afternoon tea is typically served around 4 p.m., while high tea tends to be served later in the afternoon around 5 to 7. Oh, okay, so there's different. Oh, I see. So there's 2 types of tea times apparently. Um, there's 2 types of tea times. One is afternoon tea, which is around 4 p.m. So that's what I was thinking, like sort of that midday type. Well, not quite midday, but that sort of time of the day. And that's called afternoon tea. And then there's high tea, which is a bit later in the day. Ah, so there's different tea times, I guess. There's different tea times. Tea for me is after 5 p.m. Alright, Kill Bill's on. That's a great movie. Plus one channel. Kill Bill's that's a good film. Tomorrow is a better and less stressful indeed. He's on the regular reads, but Today was one of those days, and now decided to order in, so I didn't have to cook. Nice. Oof, what's going on? Oh yeah. Okay, so when you guys say tea time, you're talking about an evening meal. When I say tea time, I'm talking more midday afternoon time meal. Because I've always kind of thought tea time as like, yeah, that kind of midday afternoon where you have tea, you have maybe a cake, some biscuits, not like a big meal, but just like a kind of a maybe like a few snacks, something like that. That's how I've always thought tea time. Um, but yeah, I guess it's different in different parts of the country. Or well, high tea, afternoon tea, yeah. Make my own meatball sub. I'll do that tomorrow instead. I mean, shouldn't Elliot be doing the meatball sub? Just saying. You thinking of high tea with tea, sandwiches, etc. Okay, so Kill Bill just turned off, and a message come up saying the new service will be launching it shortly. Brilliant. Oof. Wrong time, man. Wrong time. That message in the middle of a movie. Something more substantial like fish and chips, etc. Yeah, that's more like a meal, like something that's gonna kind of fill you. Breakfast, dinner, tea, and supper. That's it. I guess that's the same kind of order. Well, I would say lunch. I guess we rather than dinner, I would say lunch. Okay, so when I say dinner, I would mean like the evening meal. When I say dinner, I would mean like the evening meal. If I said lunch, that would be like your midday meal. Like again, not necessarily like a big meal, but more something more than what you might have at tea time, but still not necessarily like gigantic. Um, so I would say like breakfast, lunch, tea time if you're having tea time, and then dinner. I guess I do say supper sometimes, but dinner would be probably the word I'd use mainly for the evening meal. But I guess dinner is the word you use for the afternoon, for the midday meal. That's interesting, actually. Different names for different things, or the same name for different things in different parts of the country. That's interesting, actually. Fish and chips is really expensive in our town now. Oh, for sure, for sure. Indeed. Lunch. As Jonas, did you see? Goodness. Council's banquet today. Okay, damn, man. Birmingham City Council, the whole count. Wow. I think to be next one. Oof. Both dinner, lunch, and tea dinner. That's the Ken boy him. Makes it people broken teddy, the next now returning them collect to make it. Maybe I should be as greedy as everyone else. The truth is sometimes like whether you even if you don't necessarily want to raise your prices just because everything else is going up, you kind of have to sometimes, isn't it? It's just kind of how that goes. Like when everything's going up, even if you don't want to, it's like just so you could still cover your bills and everything else is like you have to start raise your price as well sometimes, which is a shame because that might start alienating some of your customers. The launch council in Europe covers over how many people? Hmm. different words, different times, same words, different times. Let's try that with my prices. Well, hope he can still do that, but bro, yeah, it's gonna get tough, man. It's gonna get tough. All right, all right, all right. Let's get this next episode started. Hopefully, you're already on 0. So about to do the countdown, and in 3, 2, 1, play. Last one of the evening. Oof. It's getting hot in here, man. Oof. This is always on me about charging more. Yeah, it's like, I mean, like I say, everything goes up, and eventually you might have to do that as well, but for as long as you can, for as long as you don't have to. I'll sit tomorrow. You guys on FB? I am actually, though. I wouldn't say I'm on it in the sense. I very rarely actually go on it, but I do have an FB account. Yeah. I wonder if there was like a Haze Days page or whatever. You buy into the belief system and agree on set values. No, no Haze Days page, just like just a regular me page. Well, I guess I've got pages for some other stuff that I do, but not like Haze Days. I think I've got couple of, I don't know, I've got a bunch of stuff set up on Facebook actually, but I just very rarely actually post anything or go on it. Twitter, but deactivated it and didn't open after 30 days and let it expire. Probably for the best. What did that woman do to him? Ross. I mean, Dina. Skinner's kind of an old man himself, though, so. Oh, what did you do? Skinner kill her in bed, you know. People's energies. I always say you could have a nugget of gold the size of a house, but someone still gotta dig it out and make use of. Oh, for sure, for sure. Since we changed their terms with this recently, Haze, which will allow them to collect biometric data and work history. No, I did not see that actually. Well, work history, like my jobs and stuff like that, like where I've been employed or whatever. Oh, excuse me. the go-to for everything app. Go-to for everything. Like, I'm not sure how that can. I mean, I guess I could see how it can work, but I don't know how many people would want to put that much information on Twitter. Like, it's already bad enough that people end up losing their jobs over dumb things they posted 20 years ago. Now they want their jobs history, making it easier to find out who their boss is. So, there's something like that in China already. It's the third region parliament where they will vote on safety. Oh yeah, that still could be coming as well, isn't it? Oof, glow in the dark. Skinner new. Get on my safety. I'm taking some of counter medicines for this cold or whatever I have. Yeah, sometimes you gotta, man, do what you gotta do. Services, if it happens. Okay, any non-material miners. Just in all honesty. Yeah, removing encryption is such a horribly bad idea. Like, the potential for fraud would be huge. Oh, there's woman in red. Finally. Finally, we've got an image on screen. You don't speak audibly, is automatically turned into a transcript in real time. Oh, he was banging a prostitute, Walter Skinner. Smart systems, smart house, smart speaker, assessment. Anything with smart, bad news. Nothing. So you don't have like a smartphone or nothing? Smartwatch? I'm in the Matrix right now. I guess you guys are off grid. Oh. My mom. She got one of those Alexa things. She just doesn't get it. Alexa, turn the lights off. Watch videos on YouTube and play 8-ball ball. Says you all I use my phone for. For the credit. Put it on in like 20 years. The same with those door cams too. Oh yeah, what the ring doorbell. Nokia 3310. Yeah, that went until about 4 years ago. Hey, Nokia 3310 was legendary though. That is legit a legendary phone, the 3310. Like I mean, the fact that you had it up until just 4 years ago, that's part of that legendary. Like it did not break. That phone did not break. Like all those memes you might hear about it, it's this true. That phone did not break, and the battery lasted like forever. These days, people charge their phone like every day, every couple of days. The 3310, like you charge it like once every 20 years or something. It just lasted. And the iPhone. Make calls. It's good enough for me. Snakes. 2 for enough snakes, yeah, man. Nowadays, the phone is like secondary for sure. Yeah, screw those iPhones. One at a time. That iPhone. It's a tag right into battery, I swear. Charge for 2 minutes. Lasts for 2 months for sure. But yeah, man, you're right. Phones are not just phones anymore. Like it hasn't been like that for a long time. Like a phone, you know, makes calls, makes texts, um, video calling, connect to the internet. You could buy things from shops. You could book appointments. You know, you can write an essay. You can do your finances, do your banking, take notes, set reminders. Use as a torch, camera, video stills, connects with people from around the world. Like it's actually pretty incredible when you think about it, what this pretty relatively small device can do. You know, it's actually pretty mad when you think about it. Like this is literally the whole world in your pocket. You know, that's mad. But yeah. I had a screw on antenna. It's the most relevant. Yeah, I remember them ones. So, some point races, planned obsolescence. What about that? Did electronics repairs? A lot of companies do that. I believe it admitted to draining phone batteries. Yeah, apparently got sued for that as well. Let's see something. Could these be rectified? J&B. Yeah, it's kind of a sad thing, but yeah, it's true to about devices being made to last about 3 years or so and then purposely start failing. So you keep buying the latest and the latest and the latest. This lady looks like Sigourney Weaver. Position right next to CPUs where they get baked, etc. Looks like it's been designed to fail after a certain amount of time. Nothing else. Yeah, for sure. YouTube is like a free university. There is indeed. Give it to me, baby. Excuse me. Skinner in a world of trouble. Man, young Skinner. This way you can find one of those old big back TVs and front of a youngster go and it will fire up the modern TVs found after a few years. Barely any that are running now. It'll be running in 10 years. Yeah, that's true, but the old CRT TVs had other problems, like they were actually fire hazards. You know, like I'm sure you know this, Reese, but those old CRT monitors, like if you left them on, I mean, you shouldn't be watching TV too long anyway, to be fair, but if you're watching TV for just that little bit too long, like, bruh, they can just catch fire. Oh, the new ones as well. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I know the old the CRTs as well. Like, if you're dismantling them, first of all, don't, unless you're like a trained professional or something like Reese. But like, if you ever come across one of those old TVs, don't ever think you can open it up because they can hold a lethal charge for a long time. If you try to get into it, if I have it. Everything these days. Yeah, thousands of volts in the CRT. Yeah, those. They're very poor quality. Actually, use with all those school buildings deemed unfit with the RAC. No, I ain't seen that. Some kinds of not meant to be temporary. Yeah, it's crazy. What's RAAC? Under the events and balance, that is Mr. Sports. I'm just gonna. Oh, RAAC is asbestos. Okay. It's still allowed to be installed in buildings up until 1999. They knew for years. Stuff was still invested is why I shall trust in authority and government now for sure. Like I say, as long as it's cheap. It's more reinforced. Reinforced autoclaved aerated concrete. Inside. Oh, okay. Oof. Oof. The humidity is real, man. The humidity is real. Yeah. Oh, cattle's the right word. Cattle and sheep. Why was Scully be allowed to do the autopsy anyway? watching a documentary about reinforced concrete. Mentioned air pockets in the concrete being a bad thing with regards to structural integrity. And they went ahead and done it anyway. Oh, man. Right. Oh, that's how some book everyone told him. Glass and deep sea diving don't mix. Oh, the Ocean Gate. Watch to let's see, and Coke. His name is. Oh, wait, you made me talk about something else. Oh, man. Oh, man. Shadow, bro. Yeah. Yeah. This episode's almost over. Yeah, a little bit. Oh, he's spying on them. A little bit, but I'm alright for now. I think it's only about, I think it's less than 15 minutes. Let me see. Yeah, it's only about 9 minutes left of the episode, less than 9 minutes, so we could let this one finish. And we've only got one more week to go for the rest of the X-Files season 3. Oh, it's just humidity, man. Oh, boy. Probably shouldn't be wearing a hooded sweater though. probably wasn't like such a good idea to wear a hooded sweater. We're almost there. We're almost there. Ah. Could see you willing to end. Well, if the show ended now and it was just like 7 minutes of credits, wouldn't be a bad thing. Oof, Sharon. Better get a Dr. Skinner. Listen to me. Oh, but yeah, this episode is pretty interesting though. Skinner's seeing people, seeing things. Someone trying to set him up. So, by the way, I just watching the episode. I don't remember this one. That's so good. Oh, mate. How many times is Scully gonna get knocked out? Only ever seen one episode of X-Files. One of those lost days of school where people put videos in etc. I think that was an Invisible Man or something. Yeah, that's probably about right. Ugh, oof. save this. Have the TV. Yeah. VHS that opens top ways. Alright, if you could have any superpower, only one superpower, what would it be? If you could have any one superpower, what would it be? You just tell me. Off the record. It's never off the record, is it? Yeah, man. We used to have one in the detention room, which I don't know who thought that was a good idea. We used to have it in especially when it's like the detention room was very rarely supervised by any teachers. Like there's supposed to be somebody there, but there hardly ever was. So you just be in there like unsupervised with this TV and VHS player. People will be watching some mad stuff on that thing, man. Good times, good times. Well, Skinner managed to be exonerated, but something he's not telling us. How did Skinner know to be at the hotel? How indeed. Skinner be lying, keeping secrets about his wife. Being unfaithful, kinda. One way or another, Skinner be naughty. But yeah, next week with the last 3 episodes, 22, 23, and 24 for season 3 of the X-Files. And then we'll see what we do after that, before we inevitably drop down the number of streams per week. But oof, it is hot in here. Let me switch over to this screen. Oof. Just chat you off a little bit before we end. As pointed out, yes, I am tired. But yeah, we'll chat for a little bit just before we finish. Did you guys get me to sit cross-legged on the floor singing Jesus? In primary school, yeah, we did hymns in primary school. Not so much in secondary. Well, no, I guess we did hymns in secondary school as well. But by then, at least got to sit on chairs. Yeah, primary school was cross-legged, singing hymns. Yeah. A few cool ones though. I can't lie. There was a few cool hymns that we did. I can't remember them right now, but I remember there was a few ones that I liked. I just can't remember none of them. There was one that was it was actually a song, it was a song in the charts by Boney M. I was like, Mary's boy child, Jesus Christ, was born on Christmas. I used to sing that one in school. Hark now, sing, the angels sing, today. I used to do that one, and ding dong. I don't know. Well, I guess it was more of a Christmas carol rather than a hymn. But anyway, yeah, we did a few. We did a few. Oh right, yeah, yeah. I had an issue with my soundboard where for some reason it just wiped off a lot of the sounds that I had stored on it. I don't know why. So I redid them, but I was like, I can't remember which mute sounds I picked. So let me just pick whatever. And yeah, so new music. Not always. Well, maybe if I could find it, but I wouldn't count on that. I wouldn't count on that. Yeah, I think I only ever did, because I don't think I've ever had many nosebleeds in my life. I don't remember having many. I feel like I can remember one incident where, for some random reason, my nose just started bleeding. I don't know why. It just started bleeding, and like a line of blood just came out and stopped. But other than, like you say, getting into fights or whatever, like, I don't remember having too many nosebleeds. I'm tired. No, I appreciate coming through, Sam. But yeah, I'm probably gonna be ending it soon too as well. Yeah, hopefully it does improve for you, Brex. Get that medicines in. Get some rest. Get some vitamin C. Yo, Danny. Belgian Dan the man. If it works, it works, man. If it works, it works. That could be actually. I know, like temperature changes, season changes, that can sometimes cause issues with sinuses and feeling ill. So yeah, definitely a possibility. Doing alright, Dan. Doing alright. Just telling everybody a little while back that from January or possibly February, I'm be dropping down the schedule, the streaming schedule, to one or to two a week, or maybe just one a week. I'm trying to have me some of that life I keep hearing about. I'm trying to have me some of that. So yeah, we're dropping down the stream schedule in January or February. So we've still got, what's it now? We're September, so we've got the rest of September, October, November, December. So we've got pretty much at least 4 months left of this, of the 3 times a week, and then the change. Yeah, one stream that lasts all day, one stream that lasts for a week. I've seen those guys that stream like all the time though. There's people who do that, like they stream maybe not quite 24 hours a day, but they stream like a good like 12 plus hours in a day, and they be like doing stuff where they like go around in different parts of the, like I know one guy, he just travels the world and he'd be like streaming like where he is, and just for like 10 plus hours in a day, just with a backpack with all his streaming equipment and batteries and whatever, and he just carries it around and talks to people on the street. And it'd be quite cool to watch, you know, to watch a little bit of, like, but it's long though still. It's long. Yeah, I mean, the problem with like that, there's so many cuts being made to the NHS that it's difficult for people in that industry to provide necessary care. And of course, there's people who are just lazy and don't care anyway. Like, I ain't saying that, but there's so many cuts to the NHS, it gets ridiculous, and it's clear, at least to me, it feels like it's clearly pushing more and more people to go private, which not everybody could afford that. You know, not everybody could afford to go private. Not everybody could even afford the insurance to go private. But that's what it feels like it's doing by making so many cuts at NHS, by making the standard of treatment, the standard of care drop more and more and more, that, you know, you either have to wait ages to be seen and maybe even die before you get seen, or go private where you spend the ridiculous amounts of money to get treated for something. I feel that's what it's doing, like kill off the poor slowly but surely. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's the exaggeration, but it does feel like that. Do what you can to stay healthy, man. Do what you can to stay healthy. Stay hydrated. Weeks anyway. Indeed. Not everyone could afford private care, you know. Not everyone can. Like I say, insurance can be quite expensive as well, and depending on what kind of conditions you have, your age, things like that, it might even be even more expensive. Birth cap, oof, well, there's a lot of issues with trying to do something like that. But I get what you mean, I get you. Man, imagine they did a birth cap, like Nick Cannon would be out of imagine you told they had like a birth cap, you're gonna have one child, like Nick Cannon's there like, what do I do? Like, bloody hell, man. Nick Cannon's like single-handedly repopulating the whole world, man. Like, yeah. But guys, next live stream should be on Thursday, 8 PM. Play some more Final Fantasy. Do some more leveling up. Hopefully we could finish Final Fantasy before we drop down the number of streams per week, but we'll see. We're not too far from the end, so it's possible, but you know, we'll see. Okay, do you mean like in terms of getting like support from the government? Okay, I see what you mean. See you tomorrow. Well, it's Wednesday somewhere, I guess. If you Thursday GMT would be Wednesday in, I don't know, somewhere in the world. Somewhere in the world. Yeah, guys, you have been awesome as always. Appreciate you and all that you do. I am tired AF, so yeah, I'm gonna log off. I'm gonna relieve myself in the lavatory. I'm going to maybe put a little bit of food in my belly, maybe not too much, or I've already eaten, but maybe just a little thing in my stomach. And then I'm gonna lay my head down and close my eyes. So till whenever, if ever, very